Hi everyone, I'm Shelly and you're watching There's No Place Like Home. I'm back with another Question the Narrative video, and today I'm going to talk about the eclipse. Someone asked me in a comment the other day and I told her that I will do it, but my response to the eclipse is rather mundane and I will share why. If you notice, I haven't mentioned the eclipse at all. And I don't tend to jump on the bandwagon for whatever the current panic is. And there's a reason for that. I have seen events like this in the past that get hyped up and people freak out over them and nothing happens. And this is something that happened in 2017 with that eclipse. I mentioned before that 2017 is the year that I woke up. It's the year that I first came across flat Earth. And that was the year that everything just came at me. And most of it was because I started exploring many other avenues through the people who were making the videos about biblical cosmology. And so it just so happened that that was the year that the last solar eclipse happened, at least the last one that I can remember, in 2017. And shortly after the eclipse happened, there was some constellation in the sky, September 23rd, 2017. And I was watching video after video about this stuff. I was completely mesmerized, and I was watching videos saying that like the rapture was going to happen. And keep in mind that at this time, I was still very much in a dispensational mindset when it comes to eschatology. So I was thinking of the rapture, I was thinking of future fulfillment, and I got really, really scared from watching all of this stuff. And it wasn't just the signs in the sky, and it wasn't just the eclipse. There was also talk of a red heifer back then also. And I just completely fed into all of it to the point that one night I had this dream where I saw Jesus in the sky outside of my house, and the rapture was happening, and I could actually physically feel myself being pulled out of my body. And that is how I woke up, to a jump scare, because I actually felt like I was being pulled out of my body. And I knew that it was from all of this stuff that I was surrounding myself with, all of this hype, all of this panic. And what happened? Nothing. And you think that I might have learned my lesson then, but no, when that whole 2020 debacle happened, I again was pulled into everything, watching all of the videos, and I completely believed everything that I was hearing about what was going to happen. And I thought that martial law was going to be happening, and that people were going to be coming door to door and taking your children, and FEMA camps were in every Walmart. And again, I was completely terrified, and it reminded me of back when September 11th happened. My husband's friend was in the army. He wasn't anymore, but he was discharged from the army, and he called my husband after 9/11, freaking out, saying that he had army intelligence that the terrorists were going to be going to small towns first, and we should head to his father's bunker. And it was insane. It was absolutely crazy. And he scared us so badly. And then he was like, "Oh, by the way, my dad said there's not enough room in his bunker for you." And we're like, "What?" So I'm kind of glad, because I know now that no, it wasn't even necessary. And the same thing, and a lot of stuff happened in 2020 that was not good. Okay, I'm not going to say that. But we've got to learn to start using discernment. You may have also noticed back, I think it was in October, when that whole emergency alert thing was going on, and people were saying you need to turn off all of your Wi-Fi and internet and don't use your phones because they're going to do this, 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 and this when they do this emergency alert system. And everyone, again, freaking out over that. And I'm thinking to myself, and finally by that point in time, I had started to learn, and I'm like, wait a minute. This is like the third or fourth time now that this has happened, that there has been some sort of emergency alert and everyone got scared and panicked and nothing happened. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to fall for it anymore. And people might say to me, "But Shelley, don't you know that NASA is going to be doing all of these experiments during this eclipse, and they're naming it, or the mission, after the sun god Ra. It says NASA's atmospheric perturbations around eclipse path, a PEP mission named for the Egyptian god of darkness and enemy of the sun god Ra, will launch the 3 sounding rockets back into the moon's shadow. First of all, I have to say, I don't agree with how they tell us solar eclipses happen. Okay, I'm just going to get that right out there. But if they're going to be supposedly doing experiments, and this, it's the sun god Ra, well, it's the sun. I also happen to think that they are probably trying to stir up a little bit of panic among those people that they know are going to panic. And same thing with CERN too. I honestly think that it's almost poking fun at people. Okay. I'm not saying that CERN is not a dark entity, because I don't trust them at all whatsoever. But the mere fact that they're choosing April 8th is, I think they're trolling people who are going to be freaking out like they are now. And one thing that I find interesting is that they're supposedly trying to create dark matter, yet the last that I heard, new research suggests that our universe has no dark matter. Now, I never thought it had dark matter to begin with, but it's just funny that in the scientific community we have, oh, CERN on the day of the eclipse is going to try to create dark matter. But here we have, just a couple weeks ago, saying that there is no dark matter. So which is it? What are they really trying to do? And are they, and I could be totally wrong. I could be wrong about this whole thing, and all of this stuff could, just blow up in our faces on April 8th. And everybody might be saying, Shelly, I told you so. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I would rather live my life like this, just kind of being skeptical about this whole thing because of how I have seen things pan out in the past. And to be quite honest, this is the reason that when we do say things, a lot of times people will not listen, because we do, like, our community tends to get triggered by every little thing. And the media and the government, and yeah, social media, the algorithms, they know how to feed right into those fears and just ramp them up, ramp them up, ramp them up until that's all everyone is talking about. So really, those are my thoughts on the eclipse. And again, I am not saying that I am absolutely not going to be wrong. I could be wrong. And in that case, I am prepared for it. I know in the back of my mind that there is always something that can happen. But I'm not going to fall for it again. I just won't. After what happened to me with that dream back in 2017, it was terrifying. And then knowing how I felt in 2020 with my anxiety, I'm not doing it to myself again. I just won't do it. But now I thought that I would go a little bit into how I think solar eclipses actually happen. This is just a theory. I have no evidence of this. But if you've ever noticed, you don't see a moon in the sky before the eclipse starts. They tell us that the solar eclipse happens by the moon passing in front of the sun, and that is how we get the eclipse. But the funny thing is that the only time that you will actually see the moon is when it is in front of the sun. Its path to the sun, there is never a moon in sight. I have checked so many videos looking to see if I could find a moon on its way to go in front of the sun. No, I only ever see it right when it's in front of the sun. And I believe that that's because it's not the moon that's actually going in front of the sun. I believe that there are some sort of other luminaries or orbs up there that could possibly be doing it. Or in fact, it may even be just some sort of phasing cycle of the sun. But no matter what it is, I do not believe that it's the moon, because you cannot see it until it's in front of the sun. The whole other time, nope, nothing there. And I often wonder if that is why these places, they give out these eclipse glasses. Is it to kind of obscure your view so that you don't notice that there is no moon on the way to in front of the sun until it's already there? Before I forget, I just wanted to add this in now because I forgot about this, the whole other thing with the solar eclipse path on April 8th. And they're talking about Nineveh and how the solar eclipse is supposed to be going over all 7 cities in the United States with the name Nineveh. Well, Donita from Prairie Dust, she's an excellent researcher. She's very meticulous in her research. And she actually has a video about this, so I'll leave a link in the description box. But she went through these maps and she did not find any towns named Nineveh that were in the path of the solar eclipse. Now, she did say, though, in all fairness, that people did send her other maps that show her that there are little towns named Nineveh. But none of those, first of all, they were all really tiny towns, nothing significant. And also, none of them were in the path of totality for this eclipse. So that's just something to keep in mind. So right now I am on a YouTube channel, Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. And this is a video that I saw years ago, and it showed orbs, what looked to be orbs in the sky outside of a plane window during an eclipse. So I'm hoping that this will work when I show this to you. And there you can see the orbs in the sky.
10, 9, 8.
And again, I will leave a link in the description box to this video because it also shows you that it's not just markings on the window. And you can check that out if you'd like to. Just pause it. But yeah, so here, this is just some of the videos from the September 23rd, 2017 happenings. And yeah, this was all hyped up. This was a month after that solar eclipse. And yeah, it was everywhere. It was everywhere. And so now, you go and you look up eclipse and you're seeing the same sort of stuff about this eclipse, what they're not telling you. And it's getting really weird. I haven't watched any of these videos. Okay. So just to say that, like, I haven't watched any of these videos, so I don't know what they're actually saying about it, but it's everywhere that people are talking about. It's getting hyped up just like the last one was. And again, I'm not going to let myself fall into the trap of panicking over it. Anyway, that's all that I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet and would like to hear more of what I have to say, I would love if you would do that. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave one either here or over on Instagram. And if you like my work and would like to check out my YouTube membership, I will leave a link in the description box, or you can click on that on my channel page. And I hope you have a great day.